The scales of interstellar justice are rarely balanced by the weight of evidence. They are tilted by the sheer, crushing mass of those who control the narrative of existence. And in Star's Dark 5 Judgment, the searing, inquisitorial, and lethally paced penultimate movement of Joshua James's Star's Dark saga, the concept of a tribunal is weaponized into a high-stakes, arcane industrial survival thriller. James, the high magistrate of this truth-starved, evidence-riddled, and reality-warping odyssey, delivers a visceral, deeply intense, and soul-searing masterpiece that treats the act of legal defense not as a search for exoneration, but as a systematic, reality-anchoring necessity. This isn't a story of whimsical, gavel-banging courtroom drama. It is a rapid-fire, deeply intense plunge into the logistical nightmare of defending one's humanity in a sector where the judicial process itself has a predatory agenda. The perilous collision between a desperate commander's search for acquittal and the absolute unchecked malice of an ancient, dogma-bound entity that views mortal innocence as a contaminant to its ecosystem. And the terrifying truth that when you face judgment in the Star's Dark cluster, you don't just endure a trial, you synthesize a reality-stabilizing buffer against the encroaching, sanity-eroding void. James hooks the audience instantly by constructing a high-stakes, hyper-focused trap. The beleaguered crew of the Yellow Jacket, already decimated by the previous movements of the war, finds themselves bound to a final desperate legacy that requires the systematic, tactical manipulation of nature's own unrefined logic to survive. The narrative center zeroes in on the crew's methodical, high-pressure descent into the verdict stitching, a state of hyper-rational, evidence-averse perception that forces them to parse the fundamental, reality-rewriting intent of their accuser's arguments. As they traverse the oppressive, light-drenched halls of the tribunal spire and the dangerously shifting, memory-saturated vaults of the sector's law libraries, they realize that their defense is not merely a service provision. It is a systemic catalyst that is drawing the attention of the Arbiters, entities that hunt those who dare to master the truth that consumes reality. The investigation into the sudden, coordinated disappearance of the sector's most skilled, truth-seeking advocates quickly escalates into a dangerous, high-stakes tactical chess match as they discover that the entire judicial structure has been covertly funded by the very darkness they are working to keep at bay. Forced to juggle the logistical nightmare of managing a rapidly decaying, reality-bending research project, the constant, suffocating threat of archival erasure, and the mounting, undeniable encounter with the cost of their own burgeoning power, they must synthesize a new way of existing, one built on tactical linguistics, radical improvised testimony weaving, and an unyielding, purely human refusal to let their innocence be redacted by the tribunal's relentless physics-enforcing machinery. James's writing style is unapologetically rhythmic, machine-gun fast, and saturated with an intense, authentic blend of courtroom arcane jargon, sharp, cynical intellectual wit, and high-stakes environmental dread. He builds exceptional structural tension by pairing the mundane, aching routines of survival, cross-referencing tactical case logs, deciphering forbidden history-aligned texts, and enduring the quiet, crushing weight of constant vigilant isolation, with the chaotic, nightmare-filled assaults of the tribunal's truth-guarding drones. The story moves forward with a relentless, momentum-driven energy, turning routine analytical probes, calculated maneuvers through the spire's secret plasma-filled basements, and tense, high-stakes standoffs with lethal, logic-warping figures into pulse-pounding steps closer to an inevitable reality-defining confrontation. The presentation thrives on this sharp analytical focus, making every discovered anomaly, every executed reality stabilization command, and every deep-seated fear confronted feel like a high-stakes victory for the human spirit. What makes Judgment an exceptional entry in the modern sci-fi thriller canon is James's unparalleled ability to develop a highly compelling, logic-driven commander whose cognitive discipline is treated as a supreme navigational asset, rather than a tragic, fading memory. Watch as they transform their experience with obscure, verdict-bound data into a compass, learning to navigate the chaotic heavens to outmaneuver a power that operates with absolute, terrifying precision. As the structural walls of their reality begin to collapse and the true scope of the Star's dark danger is exposed, the pacing transforms into a breathless, heart-pounding race to maintain the shred of truth they carry before their consciousness is permanently unstitched by the tribunal's relentless physics-enforcing machinery. The final act is an absolute masterclass in suspense, delivering a barrage of explosive realizations, shattered paradigms, and a spectacular, jaw-dropping climax that completely leaves the reader thoroughly stunned. For fans of thrillers demanding a brilliant, character-driven, and masterfully paced exploration of physics and judicial imperialism, this book delivers an unforgettable shockwave.